So here is this moment, this reality, um, this moment of experiencing that's present. Um, of course, it's showing up in all of its incredible subtlety and nuance and complexity and all the different aspects of what's arising, what's appearing. And conventionally speaking, we have the sense that all of this that's appearing, that's occurring, is happening to us in some sense, that we're the perceiver of all of this. We are the recipient of all of this that's occurring. We're on the um, we are subject to it, quite literally, right? That here is the field of our experience, or whatever you want to call it, the realm of experiencing, the bubble of experience. There's no way to really characterize what's here, what's showing up. And then somehow there's this sense, subtle or not so subtle, often, of something at if the experience was the circumference of your experience, even if there's some sense of it being, without edge to it, there's no, right? We could say it's a bubble or whatever, but what, you can't find the edge of the bubble, right? So it's wide open. But that sense we have that, and reality, of course, does this magically, sort of superimposes something at the center of all of this, right? So as you just sitting here, and as what's here is being felt, being experienced, see if you can actually locate, if any actual bounded, identifiable, recognizable center, something at the center of this moment that can be found? Or is it absolutely without center, without a subject that can be found? Just peering into the reality of the moment and seeing if the center can be found. Here's experience. And again, this sense we have that, oh, well, my experience, my thoughts, feelings, sensations, the world, all that's appearing is, I don't know, happening to me. I'm the viewer of this. The viewer is sitting at the center of the moment, right? And the moment's happening to me. My life's happening to me. My circumstances are happening to me. My relationships are happening to me, right? That's the superimposition of someone at the center of it all. So that's what we're exploring right now is, can the center, the presumed center, be found? Yes, the reality shows up with this seeming um, duality or dichotomy of a subject and an object, right? It certainly can show up that way, and we all know that perspective quite well. The two poles of existence, like, oh, there's my kitchen, and here I am, the perceiver of the kitchen, right? And all the colors are appearing to me, and the shapes are appearing to me. And if I reach out and touch the shapes that are being seen, uh, I'm touching them, right? I'm the subject. But what is the subject, presumed subject at the center of it all? Feel your way into that question. Don't try to answer it analytically, but look and see. Can you find this? Can you find anything at the center of this, the center of this moment? Or is the moment simply here without a center? Here's all this experience, right? Let's call it experience for what's happening, whatever seems to be appearing, we'll call that experience. Okay. So, oh, so here I am at the center of experience. Well, how do I know that supposed center? Well, I know that supposed center as experience, right? I'm experiencing myself at the center of experience. You see? So, what we're really finding is when we look, we're finding just more experience inside of experience. You feel that? That there is no separation. The world of experiencing often appears as a kind of continuum, uh, or we could say a differentiation between me and the world that's being experienced. Either whether that's, you know, subjective experience or an objective world, in either case, showing up as other, right? There's the other. Okay. Other to what? Other than me, self and other, right? Subject and object. What's being perceived and the perceiver. But what we're looking right now to see whether that is actually findable, or is that just a convenience of a way reality seems to appear as differentiated into subject and object. But can you find the subject and the object, or do you just find this wide open, indivisible reality, open ended, indescribable, ultimately, but present? In this sense, what you are is indivisible from everything that's appearing. You are everything that's appearing. It's a meaningless statement in a certain way because you could just say there's just everything that's appearing because there's no you that is the appearing, you see. There's simply everything appearing, including you. Like you and I are part of the appearing, but there's just this seamless whole of appearance. Just, I'm not trying to minimize it, but when I say just, because it's utterly astonishing and wondrous and unfathomably remarkable, right? Beyond comprehension. So I'm not trying to minimize it in the least when I say it's just a seamless whole. It is everything. It's the ultimate. Do you, and this is an amazing question to just consider in your own experiences. Do we ever experience division? In experience, which is all you ever know, all I ever know is experience. I know the world, I know other people, I know my relationships and my circumstances that I describe in those ways. I know all of them as experience. I know them no other way. And in this experience that's here right now, I mean, look right now, like there's no future to look for it. Here, right now, in this moment, is there any division in experience? Where's the division? There's one seamless whole of experiencing. We could call that the world of experience, the world, which is boundless and fathomless and but fundamentally undivided in its primal nature. It appears as a bunch of separate stuff, all in this complex, relationship to other stuff, right? This is flying into that. This is dancing with that. This is in harmony with that, or this is in conflict with that. There's the this and the that. I could say, oh, there's this and then there's that, but this is experience and that is experience and this is experience. And in experience, there is no this or that. There is just experience. There is experience. Um, there is life, this mystery of life. What's the term in the yogic tradition? Like it's Sanskrit samadhi. The pinnacle of realization in the yoga tradition, where you go through all the stages of yoga, which I once could recite by memory, but I don't remember them all. I could probably conjure it up, but here is samadhi. Here is the absolute union, the undivided nature of reality that is, in one sense, so absolutely clear to be true, right? Like um, we're just so accustomed to imagining that the world is constituted of separate things. But the simple return to the felt sense of experiencing reveals again and again and again, which is, we could say, our reason for coming together is to remember this perspective of experience itself, which is, foundational to everything is experience. And that in experience, we just simply don't find division. We think of ourselves as a collection of people on a Zoom call, but which is true from one vantage, right? I mean, the reality includes, the non-dual nature of reality includes the experience of duality for sure. But fundamentally, there's just no division. There's no separation. There's no things to be separate from other things. There's just this, right? You can look out at the ocean and you can talk about the different parts of the ocean and the different forms that the ocean can take and the ways in which those forms appear to be interacting with other forms that the ocean is giving rise to, right? Oh, wow, look at that wave crashing into that other wave. Or here's the ocean and then a big wave curls up and it sort of collapses back onto the ocean. We can see it that way in one sense. We can talk about it in those terms. And all the while, it is clear as clear could be that there's one ocean that moves in all the ways that it moves and takes shape and form in all the ways it seems to take shape and form. But all the while, it remains itself, which is whatever it is. Pragmatically speaking, which I'm what I'm interested in and not really interested in philosophy, but the pragmatism of this is that from the perspective of being subject to the world of experience, in other words, all this stuff is happening to me, like the waves of life, sometimes they're very gentle and very flowing and very easeful, and then other times they're just feeling like cataclysmically huge and overwhelming and difficult, right? The waves of experience and circumstance. But what makes them seem difficult is that sense we have that they're happening to me. Like I'm going to be crushed by the tidal waves of life, right? Or whatever. They don't have to be tidal waves. They could just be the little annoyances that can occur. Um, but from the perspective of there's no division anywhere that in experience, there's not no one being affected by anything. There's experience dancing with experience. So why I say pragmatic is it's just a very different way for this to be um, perceived and encountered. As I sometimes say, from this perspective, we're not the victims of anything. We're not the victims of life. We are the expression of life, right? Like the wave is not a victim of the ocean. The wave is simply its expression. Everything is its expression. So there's no there's no subject object. There's just this amazingness with no separate individual at the center of it, which doesn't, by the way, negate the experience of being an individual either. That's one of its very common ways it appears.